In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. Now, before going into detail, we should know that what exactly is anemia. In anemia, we say there is reduced number of RBCs. There is reduced number of RBCs. As the RBCs are reduced, we also say there is reduced packed cell volume. Now, what is packed cell volume? If we take a container, in this container we add some anticoagulants and then we add blood to it. After adding the blood, the RBCs in this container, they settle down. After some time, this RBCs in this container, they settle down. Now, these settled down RBCs which are settled down in this container, we call them as packed cell volume, or we call them as hematocrit. In anemia, this packed cell volume, also called hematocrit, it is also reduced. Now, as RBCs are reduced, packed cell volume is reduced, we come to a conclusion that the hemoglobin content, it is also reduced. Hemoglobin is also reduced, as hemoglobin is stored in the RBCs and RBCs are reduced. It gives us a clue that hemoglobin content is also reduced. As hemoglobin content is reduced, we also get a clue that there is reduced oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. The oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, it is also reduced. Now, what did we saw under anemia? We saw that there is a reduced number of RBCs, there is reduced number of packed cell volume. As the packed cell volume is reduced, RBCs are reduced, hemoglobin content is also reduced, and oxygen carrying capacity of the blood is also reduced. Now, this hemoglobin content, it is also reduced in two conditions. Suppose in first condition there is dehydration. If there is dehydration, there is hemo concentration. What is there? Hemo concentration. This is the first condition. In second condition, if the body fluid levels they increase, in this condition, when the body fluid levels are increased, there is hemodilution. So, what I am trying to say here is, when there are these two conditions, when there is dehydration or when there is increased level of body fluids, we can't say that these condition is a true anemia. For true anemia, both these conditions, they should be absent. They should not be present, and when these two conditions are not present and there is a reduced number of RBCs or reduced packed cell volume or reduced hemoglobin content, then we say that this condition is a anemia. Okay. Now, we move towards what is a macrocyte. What is a macrocyte? A macrocyte is a RBC which occupies a volume which is larger than normal. How did we define it? It is RBC occupying volume larger than normal. Now, you say RBCs which are occupying volume larger than normal, we call them as macrocyte. Then what is the normal volume? For a normocyte, the packed cell volume, the mean corpuscular volume, it is 10 to the power minus 15 liter for, I am talking about normocyte, or it ranges between 80 to 100 femtoliter. It ranges between 80 to 100 femtoliter. Now, if in first condition the volume occupied by RBC, it is larger than 100 femtoliter. If the volume occupied by RBC it is larger than 100 femtoliter, we call it as a macrocyte. We call it as a macrocyte. And if in second condition we see that the volume of RBC which is occupied is less than 80 femtoliter, in this condition we call it as a microcyte. We call it as microcyte. Now, if we take a blood of a patient who is having macrocytic megaloblastic anemia and put it in a container. This is a container which has blood of a patient who is having macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. These are two containers. One is having the patient's blood and second container is having the blood of a normal person. Now first we see what is happening in normal person's blood. In normal person, in both these conditions the total blood volume it will be same, but the packed cell volume it will be reduced in the patient suffering from macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. This is a normal person's blood. This is normal. Now here we will see about the patient. In this patient, the packed cell volume it will reduce, and also the RBCs they are larger in size as compared to the normal blood. When we see in the patient's blood, the RBCs are larger in size because they are macrocytes. They are macrocytes, and in normal patient's blood, the RBCs they are normocytes. Now, we will focus our attention on what is a megaloblast. Is a megaloblast. Now suppose for explaining a megaloblast we will first have to understand this. Now this is a bone marrow house. What is this? Bone marrow house, where the cells of the blood constituents, they are produced. Now there is this primary cell which gives birth or which derives other cells. We call these cells as pluripotent cells. We call them as pluripotent stem cells. We call them as pluripotent stem cells. These pluripotent stem cells, they derive in two categories. First line, it is lymphoid stem cells. What is it? Lymphoid stem cells. Other line, it is of myeloid series. We call it as myeloid stem cells. First there are pluripotent stem cells, and these pluripotent stem cells they divide in two categories. First is lymphoid stem cells, other is myeloid stem cell. Now this lymphoid stem cell, it further differentiates into T lymphocytes and also it distinguishes into B lymphocytes. But for dealing with what is a megaloblast, this question's answer will have to see in detail about this myeloid series of lines. This myeloid series, it further divides into three categories. First is erythroid series. Erythroid series leading to the formation of RBCs. Second is a megakaryoid series leading to the formation of platelets. Third series is a granulopoietic pathway leading to the formation of granulocytes. What are these granulocytes? Eosinophils, basophils and neutrophils. Now, when we are dealing with this macrocytic megaloblastic anemia and we want to know what is a megaloblast, we'll have to focus our attention on this erythroid series. I take this erythroid series here. Now, first thing which I would love to mention in this erythropoietic pathway is, this is a matured cell. This is a matured cell, and sorry, this is a immatured cell, and this is a matured RBC. This is a matured RBC. Now, one thing which we can observe here, it is that when we move from immature cell towards a matured RBC, the size of the cell, it decreases. The size of the cell, it decreases. Initially, the erythroid precursor cell or the erythroblast, it was having a quite larger size as compared to a matured RBC. So, first thing which I told you about, it was about the size, and the size it decreases when the cells get more and more matured. Another thing which I want to tell you is about the proliferative capacity. Now, this cell, this erythroblast, it has more tendency to proliferate than a matured RBC. It will differentiate more as compared to this matured RBC, and when we go from towards a matured RBC from immatured series, from immatured side, the proliferative capacity, the differentiating capacity or proliferative capacity of the cell, it decreases. Proliferative capacity of the cell, it decreases. The differentiation capacity of the cell, it decreases. Third thing which I want to mention here, it is nuclear maturation. Now, what is nuclear maturation? Initially, in this erythroblast, there is a large nucleus, large and open nucleus. Now, what is a open nucleus? Open nucleus is a type of nucleus which contain very loosely packed chromatin or very loosely packed DNA. Now, what is a loosely packed DNA? The DNA, it is so, when there is packaging of DNA, the DNA is packed so loosely that the genes on it, they express. The genes on the DNA of a loosely packed DNA, they express quite well as compared to a DNA which is tightly packed. So, initial stages, in the initial stage in the erythroblast, this cell, it is having a open nucleus which has a chromatin or DNA which is loosely packed. Now, as we move towards a matured RBC from an immatured cell, these nucleus, it goes, there are differentiation, means this cell, suppose this is a erythroblast. Now, this is a stage 1 cell. This stage 1 cell, when it has to go to stage 2, suppose it has to complete 40 divisions, then and then only it will go to second stage. This second stage cell, if it has to go towards the third stage, it will, we are assuming this, it will have to complete about 20 divisions, then and then only it will progress in the third stage of development. So what I am trying to tell you that in these stages, when we progress towards a matured RBC, this nucleus, after continuous differentiation, its size, the size of the nucleus, it goes on decreasing. It goes on decreasing and or it goes on condensing, and finally the nucleus size goes on condensing, and finally the nucleus it disappears. This is nuclear maturation, that in initial stages of the cell or in an erythroblast, the cell which was open nucleus, it was having a loosely packed chromatin. In immature cell, as the cell it became matured, the nucleus it went condensing, and finally the nucleus disappeared in mature RBC. Fourth thing, the fourth principle which I want to mention here, it is cytoplasmic maturation. What is cytoplasmic maturation? Initially, a cell, it contains lot of mRNA and ribosomes. A cell contains lot of mRNA and ribosomes. I have mentioned it with blue color because when we stain it, it takes blue color. The mRNA and ribosomes, they are blue stained. Okay. Now, as we move towards a matured cell, this mRNA, which is initially present in a very large amount, it goes on decreasing. Now, why it goes on decreasing? Because mRNA, we know that DNA produces mRNA by a process called transcription, and mRNA produces protein by a process called translation. Now, in this case, the mRNA which is present here will produce a protein. We call that protein as hemoglobin, and as we move towards a matured cell, the mRNA content in the cell, it goes on decreasing, and finally it is very less in a matured RBC. Instead, this cell, it now contains hemoglobin. The hemoglobin, it is produced from the mRNA, and the mRNA is now disappeared. And finally, in a very matured RBC, it is totally covered of hemoglobin, and there is very less mRNA present in a matured RBC. So, this was all about cytoplasmic maturation. What did we see? The first thing which I told you, that initially the cell, it was covered of, there was a very large amount of mRNA and ribosomes. These mRNA and ribosomes, they work together and produce a protein. We call it as hemoglobin, and eventually as we move towards a matured cell, these hemoglobin, it is the hemoglobin content in this cell or this RBC, it goes on increasing, and the mRNA content, it goes on decreasing. Now, in normal condition, what happens, that there is synchronization between these two processes. What is there? Synchronization or collaboration between these two processes. Synchronization between these two processes, or there is a collaboration. That means when there is a open nucleus, there is a blue cytoplasm. When the nucleus is slightly condensed, the cytoplasm is bluish red. When the nucleus is totally disappeared, at that time the cytoplasm is red. Again, when the nucleus it is large and open, the cytoplasm is blue. When the nucleus it is partially condensed, the cytoplasm is bluish red. And when the nucleus it fully disappears, the cytoplasm is totally red. This is all because there is a synchronization between nuclear maturation and cytoplasmic maturation. Now, what will happen if this synchronization it gets defected or it gets disturbed? This synchronization between nuclear maturation and cytoplasmic maturation it gets disturbed due to some reason, and in this case of macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, this defect it is caused due to defect in DNA replication. Mainly, I am talking about mainly in this condition, this defect of DNA replication it is caused due to deficiency of B12 and folic acid. It is caused due to deficiency of B12 and folic acid. Now, if there is a defect in DNA replication, will the nucleus, will it differentiate? Will the nucleus it will get smaller? No, it will not get smaller because there is a problem in DNA replication. But will this mRNA get affected by DNA replication? No, because mRNA it is producing protein by translation, and mRNA it is itself produced from DNA by transcription. But this translation and transcription processes, both these processes they are not affected in this case. Only DNA replication is affected. So at this stage we obtain a cell which is having a large nucleus which is just partially or not, which is not at all condensed, but the cytoplasm it is fully hemoglobinized. It is fully hemoglobinized. In normal condition, we should obtain a cell in this stage that it might be having a partially condensed nucleus and a bluish red cytoplasm. But in this case, due to defect in DNA replication, a cell is produced which is having a larger nucleus and a fully developed cytoplasm, or the RBC it is fully hemoglobinized. The RBC it is fully hemoglobinized. This all occurs due to defect in DNA replication. In this case of macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, this defect is caused due to deficiency in B12 and folic acid, and this cell which is having a larger nucleus and a fully hemoglobinized cytoplasm, we call this cell as a megaloblast. We call this cell as a megaloblast. Now, if someone asks us that what is a megaloblast, then we should tell him that megaloblast is a erythroid precursor cell which has a larger nucleus and a fully hemoglobinized cytoplasm. It is a erythroid precursor cell which has a larger nucleus and fully hemoglobinized cytoplasm. This is all about a megaloblast. Now, this megaloblast it is produced here inside the bone marrow. The megaloblast it is produced inside the bone marrow. but about 80 to 90% of these megaloblast, they are itself destroyed or phagocytosed by the macrophages inside the bone marrow itself. These cells, they are destroyed inside the bone marrow itself. Only 10 to 15% of megaloblast, they reach in the peripheral circulation, and when they reach in the peripheral circulation, we call it as a macrocyte. We call it as a macrocyte, which is a RBC, which is occupying a volume larger than normal. Now, macrocyte is produced, but the total number of RBCs, they are reduced. Hence, anemia is caused. The total number of RBCs in this condition, it is reduced. These RBCs which are reduced, it is due to defect in DNA replication due to deficiency in B12 and folic acid. Now, if there is a defect in DNA replication due to deficiency in B12 and folic acid, all the cells which are rapidly proliferating, because the cells in the bone marrow, these cells are also rapidly proliferating. The RBCs, they have a life of 120 days. That means our bone marrow, it is continuously working on producing new RBCs. A platelets also, they are also destroyed in a very short lifespan. So our bone marrow, it is continuously working so that there is not a deficiency of these cells in our body. But in this condition, in this patient who is having macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, RBCs are reduced. Also there is due to defect in DNA replication. So in this pathway also, in this megakaryoid pathway also, there is also a defect in DNA replication in this pathway, because all the cells which are rapidly proliferating in our body, they will have a defect in DNA replication. And when these cells, these are having a defect in DNA replication, the number of platelets, they also reduced, and this condition we call it as thrombocytopenia. The thrombocytopenia, when the platelets of in an individual, when the platelets are reduced from a normal count, we call this condition as thrombocytopenia. Also, these granulocytes, they are here also megaloid reaction occurs, and due to this megaloid reaction, the number of granulocytes, they also reduce. And when the number of granulocytes in an individual, they are reduced, we call this condition as granulocytopenia. We call this condition as granulocytopenia. When there is reduced number of RBCs or reduced number of platelets or reduced number of granulocytes, we call them as anemia, thrombocytopenia or granulocytopenia. But in this condition of macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, all these conditions, they are present together. There is also anemia, there is also thrombocytopenia, and also there is granulocytopenia. So in common, we call this condition as pancytopenia. If someone asks you what is pancytopenia, so we can define pancytopenia is a condition in which there is anemia, there is also thrombocytopenia, and also there is granulocytopenia. This is all about pancytopenia. Now, in this person or this patient who is suffering from macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, due to megaloid reaction in this granulopoietic pathway, a granulocyte or a neutrophil having a hexalobe, it is hexalobe or more than 6 lobes, a neutrophil who is having nucleus which is a hypersegmented nucleus, it is produced. A hypersegmented nucleus is produced in this granulopoietic pathway due to megaloid reaction. And if we do bone marrow aspiration of this patient, and in this bone marrow, if we see this hypersegmented nucleus, if we see just a single hypersegmented nucleus, we should get suspicious that a patient, it may be having macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, presence of hypersegmented neutrophil. A presence of hypersegmented neutrophil is a diagnostic feature of macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. Now, all the cells which are rapidly proliferating in the body, all the cells which are rapidly proliferating in our human body, they are affected due to defect in DNA replication. But now there are some cells, suppose the cells which are lining the GIT or they are lining the gastrointestinal tract, every week the old cells, they get detached, and on their places new cells come and they are attached. Now all the cells in our GIT, they are rapidly proliferating, and if there is a defect in DNA replication, will the cells in the GIT, after the old cells are detached, the new cells which are coming, will they come when there is a defect in DNA replication? No. So one more diagnostic feature for macrocytic megaloblastic anemia is presence of a shiny smooth tongue. This is a normal tongue. Tongue is also part of GIT. This normal tongue, it has papilla, and this papilla, due to presence of this papilla, our tongue, it is little bit rough. Our tongue, it is little bit rough due to presence of papilla. But when there is defect in DNA replication, will the papilla proliferate? No. And a tongue which is smooth, in which papillas are absent or they are very low amount, we call this smooth tongue, it is present in a patient having macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. This was all about the first lecture. What did we see in this? We saw about anemia. Anemia is reduced number of RBCs, it is reduced packed cell volume, it is reduced hemoglobin content, it is reduced oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Then we saw macrocyte in a normal condition, in a normocyte, the volume occupied by a RBC, it is 10 to the power minus 15 liters, or it ranges between 80 to 100 femtoliters. If the volume of a RBC it is less than 80 femtoliter, we call it as a microcyte, and if the volume it is greater than 100 femtoliter, we called it as a macrocyte. Then we came towards the megaloblast. In megaloblast, we defined megaloblast is an erythroid, an immatured erythroid precursor cell in which there is a large nucleus and excessively hemoglobinized cytoplasm. That's all. Thank you.